Hey guys, just as mentioned, this is the second part of the video in which I've already driven the car for quite a few more kilometers. I have had this car now for around about just over 6 weeks. So if we're looking what kind of kilometers I drove for 8,582 kilometers. Okay, please don't ask me where all the kilometers came from for the past six weeks, but yeah. So I think I'm entitled to having a bit more of an opinion on the car now. So what did I notice? First, I had to get used to the dual clutch transmission gearbox this car has. That's an automatic transmission, and I like a conventional automatic gearbox better than a dual clutch transmission, because sometimes it takes some time. So if you're on a small incline and you try to and you're standing and you just try to accelerate slightly because you want to park or want to drive up to a wall or something like it, you just give it some power, but the car doesn't come, and then it just gives this little bump, vroom, and goes, which makes it hard to dose actually the gas very well. So I'm not a fan of the dual clutch transmission. What I noticed, of course, the 1 Series I had here my previous company car, this car had a diesel engine, and I could drive around about 900 kilometers on one tank. I mean, if I was trying to really save up gas, I'd be able to do 1,200 kilometers, but round about 900 with normal driving condition. Driving this car, I think I maxed it out at 650 kilometers. Again, normal driving conditions, but every 600 kilometers I have to fill it up. For me, as someone who drives a lot of kilometers, obviously if you see what I did in the past 6 weeks, that's freaking annoying. So the tank, it's a 41 liter tank, it's too small. I'd rather drive a diesel, but well, company policy says diesels aren't okay anymore. I have to drive a petrol car or an electric vehicle. So yeah, that's the second point I noted. The third point, which annoys me massively, you can see it here, it's the lane assist, the active lane assist. I always have to switch it off. I mean, if you switch off the car, it activates again, so you have to deactivate it each time. And what it does, if you get too close to the lines of the lines on the road, on the left or on the right, the car starts to brake slightly, and it's a very uncomfortable feeling. But every time you have like a curve or you have curve-like structure in the road, you just drive along it fine, but you get a bit too close to the lines, and every time the car brakes. It's really annoying. So I don't like the lane assist on this car. But for the rest, I mean, it's a not very well spec'd A-Class, this one, but it has in Holland a business-like package. It has the AMG package, so I have sport seats, I have the Alcantara interior, and I like it. I really like the automatic gearbox. I have to drive often in conditions in which you have to stop and go a lot. So yeah, I like that the car has an automatic gearbox, although I'm not a fan of the dual clutch transmission. But if you just start or get to know the gearbox, then you can handle it better. Yeah, the engine, it has sufficient power, but I like the bigger engines, because this is a 1.3 liter engine. You see that if you just drive on inclines, the gearbox starts to switch gears quite a bit, which isn't something I like too much. But for the rest, yeah, I'm okay with this car. Although there's some kind of vibration at 100 kilometers an hour, and I've noticed that they already tried to fix it, because there are all kinds of, I think it's lead on the inside of the rims, but seemingly it didn't work out. So yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be honest, I'm not fond of the car, but it's very much okay to drive. I mean, rather drive this car than an Opel Astra or a Volkswagen Golf or a Kia, whatever. So I'm not too discontent with the car. So that's my 6 weeks 8,500 kilometer opinion. Just a small one. I'm going to make a fuel consumption video, of course, but according to the onboard computer, I used 6.1 liters on 100 kilometers during the time I had the car. Although if I calculate it, it's around 6.3, so it's slightly off. But I think for a small petrol engine, that's okay. You can't compare it to a diesel, obviously. And I've also gotten used to the how to operate the multimedia system and the navigation system, which was quite a big leap from the BMW 1 Series, which was more simple using the iDrive. And here you have either this touchpad, which you can use to operate the systems. You can use a touch screen. I don't like touch screens because you'll see all the fingers on the screen. And here you'll have the steering wheel function. So you actually have 3 ways of controlling this screen. And one thing I don't like about Mercedes-Benz, but that's also something I noticed already 5, 6, 7 years ago with previous generations, is that part of the functions of the car are here in the screen, which you have to operate through the left, and another part of the function in the screen are all here, and you have to operate it through a different button, so they're not focused on one or they're not integrated into one point of focus, call it that way. So here you have a few different options on the screen, but I prefer the nope. This is the sports screens. Then you have progressive, and lastly you'll have the standard screen. And I usually use for this. Oh no, this is not the standard one. Okay, and here you have the minimalistic screen, and usually I prefer to have just the classical configuration on here. So, well, that wraps up my halftime review of the car. I'll probably drive it for 1 or 2 months more, and then I'll see what's in the flex pool and what might be next. And of course, so sometimes the car does it or does this. So when I put on the seat heating, it automatically switches off after 1 second. And I haven't found any pattern why the car would do that. So, well, I'm not too happy about it either. So maybe write in the comments if you have any idea why the car does this. So here we are a few minutes later, and as you can see, the seat heating works just fine again, and I have no idea what changed. So it's a mystery to me why sometimes it doesn't work.